Mark Bergin here on behalf of the Arthur Moats Experience. And now that Aaron Rodgers has signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers, what are the expectations for the other quarterbacks on the roster? Let's get right into this. So, Aaron Rodgers is 41. He's turning 42 in early December. He is owed $13.65 million. That goes up to $19.9 million with incentives. He is going to be the team starter so long as he is healthy and that the Steelers are in playoff contention. That will not change because of the amount of money they're committing to Aaron Rodgers. So what does it mean for Mason Rudolph, who's 29? He's turning 30 in July. Mason Rudolph owed $3 million. He'll have a $3 million cap hit in the 2025 season. Rudolph has never started more than 8 games in a season. He did that in 2019 when he was filling in for an injured Ben Roethlisberger, splitting time with Duck Hodges. Rudolph went 1-4 as a starter for the Titans a season ago. Mason Rudolph is your insurance policy in case Rodgers gets hurt or if for whatever reason the season goes totally south. It's Rodgers' ride, but I do expect Rudolph, given his experience both in the regular season and having a playoff start under his belt, to be firmly entrenched as the Steelers' backup quarterback. I don't think that there's going to be a competition for the backup quarterback to say, could Will Howard challenge Mason Rudolph as the Steelers' backup in the 2025 season? I don't think that will happen this current season. And I go back to how the team values these players and what they're paying them. Now, I do think that Howard will be the third string quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, even as a rookie. And I don't think that there's going to be much of a competition with Skylar Thompson so long as the difference is marginal. Will Howard's cap hit is $902,000. Skylar Thompson is $1.1 million. And I expect Thompson to be on the Steelers practice squad. Now, there are some rules with that because there can be 17 players on a practice squad as long as one of those players is part of what's called the NFL's International Pathway Program. The other 16, of the other 16, 10 must be either rookies or second-year players. So I think Thompson is one of the other 6. Now, another team can sign practice squad players from a different organization, but when you do that, the player that you signed from the other team's practice squad must be elevated to your active roster. So I think another team might want Will Howard as a rookie. He's more of an unknown versus Skylar Thompson. I expect Skylar Thompson to be on the team's practice squad for this reason, because I think he's a little bit less desirable or less coveted as a quarterback because we know more about Skylar Thompson. Given the fact that he has started 3 regular season games in his career, he's appeared in 10 games overall for the Miami Dolphins dating back to the 2022 season. And he's also started a playoff game as well. So I do think that there's some value there for Skylar Thompson. Now, one thing I would say as well with Skylar Thompson is this: don't trade him until you get to week 1 of the regular season with your other 3 quarterbacks healthy. I go back to that 2019 season with the Pittsburgh Steelers where they go into the year, Ben injures his elbow. They had already traded away Josh Jacobs to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they were stuck with Rudolph and Duck Hodges. Want to get to week 1 healthy, and I particularly say that because Pittsburgh has a young offensive line, and you've got pocket passing quarterbacks in Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph. Mobility is not the name of their game when it comes to the quarterback position. But I also want to discuss a little bit about Will Howard and expectations for him. I think you'll see a lot of him during preseason. I think that's great for him. It looks like the real thing. It feels like the real thing. It's not quite the real thing, but it is live game action. It's a valuable experience for him to develop as a quarterback and to learn from veterans like the 3 quarterbacks that the Steelers have on the roster, but particularly in Aaron Rodgers and in Mason Rudolph. But with Will Howard, if Tom Brady is your North Star as a fellow 6th-round draft pick, Tom Brady attempted a grand total of 3 passes as a rookie. He also didn't start a game until his 2nd season in the league. And then if you look at Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant for a few years back, he didn't start until week 13 of his rookie year. December of 2022, and the 49ers team had Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk. He had a lot of help. I know we're all excited about Will Howard, given his size, given what he can bring to the table potentially. And if you looked on Twitter, he's already the next coming of either Ben Roethlisberger or Josh Allen. What I say is pump the brakes a little bit there, my friends. Pump the brakes a little bit. We're excited about Will Howard. I don't really have any expectations for him other than maybe towards the end of the year if the year's either already lost or if your playoff positioning is already in cement and you're playing a game that doesn't matter. Those are my expectations for the Pittsburgh Steelers because, for better or for worse, it is the Aaron Rodgers show in the 2025 season. Let me know what you think in the comments. My name is Mark Bergin on behalf of the Arthur Moats Experience.